Hey everyone, Rma here, and today I just wanted to share my experience with the RMA process at EVGA and how I ended up with 2 dead 2070 supers. Also, I'm sorry that I haven't been posting the past couple of weeks. I was really taken aback with some stuff that happened in my life, so I just didn't have the mental capacity to make these videos. But now I was able to take kind of a 2-week break, I guess, and recentered myself, and I'm going to start focusing on making these videos again. So stay tuned for weekly uploads. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to hit that subscribe button to know when I have more videos. So back in December, I took a 2-week vacation to spend time with family and also to really try and focus on growing my Twitch channel as well as making content for YouTube. It just so happens that the universe had different plans for me, and on the very first day of my vacation, I was doing some laps around Lime Rock Park, and all of a sudden I heard a pop and started to smell smoke. My computer shut down immediately, and I was kind of confused as what was going on. This has never happened to me, so I was kind of in a state of shock, and I didn't really know what happened. So obviously, I looked at the computer and tried pressing the power button again, and fortunately for me, it wasn't the power supply. The motherboard booted. I was able to get the LED lights, or I was able to see the LED lights, so it passed the DRAM and passed whatever was after DRAM, but when it hit the VGA light, that's when it didn't boot. So I had a good idea that it was my graphics card. So I pulled that out of my computer and I confirmed that that's where the strong smell of smoke was coming from. I think looking back in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have turned on the computer, especially seeing or hearing and smelling smoke. I probably should have erred on the side of caution and ruled out the power supply first. Especially because if I turned it on and that was faulty, there could have been a chance that my motherboard and CPU could have been fried as well. But fortunately for me, that wasn't the case, and it was just the graphics card. But yeah, next time anything like this happens, I will try and look at the power supply first, and then work my way from there to prevent any other damage from to prevent any other damage to the rest of my components. Also, fortunately for me, I was helping my friend build a computer, so I did have a spare 7870 that I popped into the computer to verify the rest of the system was working. And also, big shout out to my cousin Tracy, who had a 1060 lying around that I borrowed to stream and play. It was good enough for iRacing, and I was able to hit 84 FPS consistently, and it looked fine on stream. So thank you so much again for letting me borrow that 1060. I was able to use that while waiting for the graphics card, and it wasn't until January that I actually got a working one. But anyways, yeah, after I verified that it was the GPU, I contacted EVGA right away, made a support ticket, explained the situation, and I also sent them some photos that they asked for. And after all that, I got an RMA number. And with that RMA number, I started the RMA process. There were 2 options. I could have done the normal RMA process, where I shipped out my graphics card first, and then they would send me a graphics card after they verified what was wrong. I decided to go with the cross ship, which is they send me the graphics card first, and then I'll send them the one that is broken after. The only thing with this is that I do need to put down a deposit, and it was around 520 American. And since I have a Canadian card, I was charged conversion, so around 720, and they will refund that when they get the card back. It's just that if the exchange rate goes up or down, I can lose more money or not get the exact refund that I was expecting. They sent out the graphics card, and I was pretty excited, but when I opened it, I noticed this little black piece that was in the plastic shell, and I was kind of confused as to what it was, and I kind of brushed it aside at first, but I did take videos and photos of the process because I knew I wanted to make a video, but I was very fortunate that I did, so I could explain to EVGA later. But yeah, I popped it in right away, and same thing happened. It would go to the VGA light and it wouldn't go past that. So I was kind of sad, and at the same time I was like, oh no, this could possibly be the power supply. Maybe it's not giving enough power. So I went ahead and bought a new power supply to verify that I did have enough power going to the card, and that was the case, and it still didn't work. So I emailed EVGA again and showed them the photos, and I think it was the chip that came off that was causing it not to work, and they were very, very helpful in this situation as well. And this time they did the advanced RMA process, where they kind of like cross ship, but they ship a shipping label with it as well, so I don't have to worry about paying that out of pocket. That came a little longer, or it took a little longer for that to get to me because it was right around the holiday season, and they didn't start shipping out until I think January 7th. So I didn't get my card until around January 10. So that was the only big delay in terms of this whole RMA process, but I don't think it was anyone's fault. It was just right around the bulk of the holiday season. And that's why it was delayed. I guess their offices are closed or something. But yeah, that was the longest wait for me. And I did get a new graphics card. And this time plugged it in, crossed my fingers, and everything finally worked. And I was very happy that I finally had a 2070 Super that worked, and everything checked out, and I was ready to ship these graphics cards back. And this is kind of where my first mistake happened. I was looking through the RMA documentation, and it said for the cross ship, I had to ship this out within 14 days of the initial graphics card shipping. And it was almost a month since I've shipped it out. And I was very, very worried and stressed that I was going to get charged a whole entire new graphics card, because I think at that point I probably would have just bought something else. And I was very anxious and very worried that I messed up in that aspect. And also looking through the documents again, I misread the instructions. I completely missed a page, and I had to cut out their label and put it on the box. I guess it's easier for them to scan it. And for me, I just wrote down the RMA number on the box itself. So there was two things that I was really worried about. One, they wouldn't accept the package because I messed up the box and it didn't have the correct label. And two, I shipped it out almost a whole month after they were expecting the card. So I was worried that I just lost $700, but I did have a working graphics card. So there was that. But on Friday, I got the email saying that the graphics card was delivered. And that's when I was like, oh man, let's cross my fingers. I hope that they accepted this package. I looked at the EVGA website and it showed that my graphics card or RMA process was complete. And I was like, oh, they didn't reject the package. And after that, a couple hours later, I got the email saying that the refund was approved. And just today, I finally got the refund in my credit card. So all in all, it was a longer process than I anticipated, and a lot of mess ups on my part. And EVGA, I didn't even have to explain to EVGA the situation. I just didn't do anything and everything worked out. So I'm very, very happy that it did work out. I assume that if they were more strict about this stuff, then I probably would have just lost the 700. Yeah, I'm very happy that everything did work out, and I have a new graphics card that's working. Well, it's probably a refurb, but I have a graphics card that's working. And yeah, the process was very smooth. I haven't had to deal with any other manufacturer in terms of RMA process for graphics cards. But I think net for me was about $70 to get this fixed. One was shipping the graphics card out was around $40, and then two, the exchange rate hit was another $40-ish. So it was not too bad in the grand scheme of things, 10% of the cost of my graphics card. But I'm just happy that everything worked out and I had no issues with the RMA process, and hopefully I don't have to RMA anything else, but I am excited to know that everything is really smooth when it comes to doing an RMA process with EVGA. So I think if I do stick to NVIDIA, I'll probably try and always buy EVGA products just because of this whole experience with them and this warranty process. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I do have the Model D that I'm reviewing, and I still have the Death Adder that I need to review. And also I'll go into details about what happened earlier this year and share with you guys my experience or what happened in my life. But I can't talk about that right now. But I'll do a future video probably in a couple weeks. But yeah, stay on the lookout for that as well. But that's it for me. I am out.